Good morning. Welcome to the Good Morning Education Show, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Today is another day. Today is the 15th of June, 2021. My name is Rotimi Taya, and we're streaming on the Good Morning Education Show from Lagos to Nigeria to West Africa to Africa and the entire world. Such a pleasure to host you today, and I'm sure we're going to have a great time on the show together today. If this is your first time joining us, please do let us know. We have what we call the Bell of Blessing. We're ringing the Bell of Blessing to every first timer on the show today. And of course, to our loyal tribe members, we want to welcome you back to the show. I want to thank you for joining. We want to thank you for being there always. It's always a pleasure to host you on your favorite education show, the Good Morning Education Show. And of course, on the show, we spend time to analyze news and headlines within and around the world of education. We don't just stop there. We also tackle subject matter on the day, and we have expert analysts who share their views, their experience, and their thoughts on the subject matter. And we also take questions from the audience. So if you have questions, get ready. Send in your questions. We're going to be able to take your questions, and not just your questions, your contributions are welcome as well. On the Good Morning Education Show, everyone has a voice, and we back it up by saying it's always a great morning on the Good Morning Education Show. We're not going to be wasting time. We're going to be joined by Finny right now. And we'll say good morning to Finny wherever she is. Good morning, Finny. How are you today?
Good morning, Mr. Ritini. Okay, I'm not going to be pulled into disclosing my secure location. But good morning, world. Good morning, tribe. Good morning, education show, and welcome to our show this morning. We're glad to be here and to know that you're on the other side of the studio. Thank you.
So that's hello from the other side, right?
Hello from the side.
Okay, all right. Hello from the side, hello from the other side, hello from the other room is still hello, all the same. So we're gonna
Hello
start.
from every side.
We're going to start the show with our headlines as usual, and we're going to start with a very interesting one that says how I stopped Boko Haram from closing Uni Made SSG. That's University of Maiduguri.
Wow. I actually will want to dig deeper into the news to find out what the SSG did to stop Boko Haram from invading University of Maiduguri. Whatever it was that was done and was successful in stopping the activities of Boko Haram invading University of Maiduguri and shutting it down, it needs to be shared so that this can be replicated in other universities, in other communities, and I hope it's a workable solution and not just something out of just I hope it's a workable solution, but whatever it is, if it worked and it was successful, then it shouldn't be kept a secret. It needs to be shared so that we all know and we're able to also use it and replicate it in having a safe and secure environment for every one of us.
All right, that's a good one. Um, we believe that uh, headlines like this should also carry out more details. All right, thank you. We move on to the next headline. Alumni appeal to Sanwo-Olu on AOCOA, that's our co-ed upgrade to varsity. This is from Punch I said Punch University. This is from Punch newspaper.
Okay, so
Okay.
all right, I have a position on these things, and that still is what my position is. I mean, Adeniro Ogunsoya College of Education is College of Education, and should stay in the place of being a college of education, making impact in that space. What they are created to be is what they should make an impact in, and not the struggle for the clamor to be a university, to be converted to a university. I know how these things feel like people in this side of our on our side of the world, we believe it's a university education. University education is the oga patapata of them all. That's the way we look at it. But it really shouldn't be. If the products from the colleges of education, from the polytechnics, from any other institution that they're coming out from, are approving the salt, approving that look, it's not about the nomenclature of the school, it's about the products that are coming out of the schools, then it shouldn't be a problem on upgrading them to, does upgrading them to a university change their output? Does it change their product? Does it change the way they operate? What exactly does it change, apart from maybe changing name to Adeniro Ogunsoya University? We should really put focus on what really is the focus, and that is on giving quality education, that is on producing and staying in the place of, now I'm going to make it sound a little spiritual, stay in the place of their calling and being the best they can be in that place where the result is uncontestable, where it is really good. Then nobody would even bother what their name is. What we're looking out for is the products from those schools, and employers will be scrambling to have them. So I would just say to the alumni, rather than focusing on the nomenclature changing, they should look at making their school much better in whatever it is they need to help them with: infrastructure, materials, whatever else it is that they need the school to be of better standard. Then they should focus on those.
All right. So that you said that we will rest our case and believe that people, it's people like OAU alumni that put pressure on other people to want to. So you're saying they should stay their calling. Calling means what they say. So why you now not allowing them to have what they say? Say stay in their lane.
You don't
Some
want to go that OAU
some
route this morning,
selfish
no.
comments.
You don't want
Some
to go that
selfish
OAU route
comments.
this morning.
All right. Now lecturers fault government and lament non-payment of salaries.
This is part of what I was just talking about in the institution running smoothly. You can't have lecturers being, not just lecturers now, workers, university workers, education workers, whether technical, non-technical, teaching, non-teaching. You can't have them not being paid salaries and expect the best from them. It's not possible. People are probably struggling to transport themselves to school, to pick up their bills, and that spirals down, cascades into issues in the family, school fees for children, even home maintenance, paying their bills, and all of those things come together to form the totality of who we are and the way they carry out their duties. So if the government is not paying salaries, then we definitely are not looking at a system that's going to give its best. It definitely will not be giving its best. And really, I think we should have moved past this era and this stage of non-payment of salaries, not funding schools, not equipping schools, because what this says is that there's another strike looming. That's what it just says plainly, very plainly. which is something that we really do not want. This is something none of us now wants to hear that any school or that ASU or NASU is on strike because of payments of salaries. So the government really needs to do much more instead of focusing energy on keeping some birds short. You need to keep our schools open by doing the right thing.
That's good. That's good. So, being spitting fire this morning. That's a good one. So let's have another headline, and it says, "Never underestimate any tertiary institution, whether it's in Ife or any other part of the country. Partnerships improves output." Uniosun VC Okuola is accredited to saying this.
It's interesting that the Uniosun VC is the one talking about not underestimating any tertiary institution. You know, how close they are to OAU, you know, it's within the same state. Some of their campuses are very close to our campus. So I would say that it's a symbiotic relationship. Somehow there's been a kind of diffusion of the culture, of the great culture of Ife to Uniosun. So yeah, you would not be surprised to hear him say this. But this is exactly the point I was making about the Adesanya Ogunsanya College of Education, yes, and the clamor for being a university. That's exactly what I was. It shouldn't be about the nomenclature. You cannot underestimate what a polytechnic is supposed to be able to produce. Is different from what a university is supposed to be able to produce. And naturally, even maybe we don't even realize that for secondary schools, we have technical colleges for secondary schools where the students that are there are more focused on the technical aspect of education, their skills, they're more into skills acquisition. So if those ones now begin to say, oh, let's change our names from being technical colleges to becoming so community grammar school or so and so high school or something, they're losing the focus of the reason they were established. So no, tertiary institution, and I'm happy with the way it was with the tertiary institution, none of them should be underestimated because of nomenclature, because of bias that we have. Maybe we don't even realize that there are some of these colleges outside of our shores. So some people would leave Nigeria and still go to a polytechnic in Ghana, still go to polytechnic even in the UK, in the US, and still go to some of these other specialized colleges. So the Uniosun VC has certainly put it. Partnerships, yes, partnerships. We cannot overemphasize the roles that partnerships and collaborations play in helping to balance out the weights and in helping for us to eventually have a well-rounded system. I hope more people rise up to that and are able to contribute to the tertiary institutions.
Okay, we hope that, just as you said, you hope that happens. We see changes both in the short term and in the long term. Thank you very much for that. And then I think we need to look at another one, and this time around we're taking the train back to JAMB. Are you there, Fini? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
You seem to be frozen.
I can hear you.
Oh, you need your alumni to help you out. All right, JAMB gives update on candidates with incomplete registration. So there's been an extension of some.
Yeah, they said they're not going to extend that registration, but now they have announced again that they're extending the registration to enable those who were not able to complete their registrations to complete it. Well, I would, if this is what it's going to take for them to complete this registration for this particular exam, then yes, they really need to have that extension. But subsequently, JAMB should be working towards ensuring that they have seamless registration process for their students or for the candidates that will write the exam. All of these extensions today, it won't be extended again. No, it's been stopped. Now they're going to register in special centers. Now along all of those lines, it's even possible to lose some registrations because it's been done it's not very, very coordinated. So subsequently, they should work better. We have all that we need for them to have seamless registrations, capturing of data and all of that. We have everything that is needed, and they should have this done. Maybe they do a form of simulation before the registration. It doesn't matter that they've done this before, just to be sure that all of their systems are working, just to be sure that all of the processes are in place. They may need to do a simulation before the next registration link opens, and just to be sure that all of these things are handled. It's stressful for them, it's stressful for the students who are registering, it's stressful for the organizations and institutions helping them with the registration process. All of that can be cut off or can be reduced to the barest minimum.
Fantastic. So let's go for the last one, which is the UNICEF calls for unconditional release of 150 Sangaya pupils kidnapped in Niger State. UNICEF is calling for unconditional release.
This security issue, the part of it that really, really gets to me is where children are involved. So yes, we have had issues of kidnapping of adults. Nobody wants to go through that. But where children are involved, it's an entirely different special case, because the kind of resilience or the kind of maybe resources, physical, mental, that adults could have to escape or to survive being held in captivity, not many children have it. And even if they have it, it's too early for them to be exposed to such harsh conditions. So if UNICEF is, there are more than 150 students being held, there are more than 150 children being held. Let's not forget the Yasharibo case. Before that case, there were a good number of students also kidnapped. At sometimes it is all boys, at sometimes it's all girls, at sometimes it's a co-ed school that is attacked, and children keep getting taken away. Some don't even make it to the news. Last week, I got a broadcast about a school that was invaded about 5 a.m. and some students were taken away from that school also. Whatever it is that is happening with the government and with the people that are the decision makers in this regard, they need to put aside whatever else it is. If there is something that is handicapping them, they need to give those children a thought, and for the sake of the children, for the sake of our future, do something, step in. Let's have all of the children that have been taken hostage, that have been kidnapped, let's have all of them released. The longer they stay in those places, the more it doesn't connote anything good for society, because they're getting brainwashed. Some of them are getting from those places, if they don't lose their lives, if the girls are not consistently being made sex slaves, some of them are already being they're being recruited to take over from these guys or to join their force. And the most they will use them for is maybe use them for suicide bombing. And that's the end of the life of that child. They need to be given an opportunity to live. They need to be given an opportunity to live, not just as human beings, but to live good quality life. So this is a special appeal for the release of all of the children that have been, whether it made the news or it did not. We need to be able to rise up for these kids and get them out of the holds of those holding them down.
All right. Thank you so much. At this point in time, I think this is where we can easily say we will have to put a hold on the conversation on the headlines, and we come to the conversation of the day itself. I believe that we have an interesting topic, and this video suddenly comes back after being frozen. Now it's frozen again. What's happened to your video?
Really? Oh, wow. I'm seeing my video being very fluid. I didn't really. Okay, I'll check that.
Since you are not ready for the conversation of the day, so to those who just joined us, welcome to Good Morning Education Show. This is an opportunity to welcome you. And if you're a first timer, a bella blessing to you. And our topic today is get ready for summer. Get ready for summer. Summer is here already, but it's good for us to just take a bit of break away from the serious conversations and just talk to ourselves and ask, what's the plan for summer? Let me ask you, Finn, are you ready for summer? And if you are, please share with us how you're getting ready for this summer. Finn, are you there? Finn, can you hear me? Oh dear. Okay, so while we're trying to reconnect with Finn, so our conversation today really is just to take us a bit into the few weeks ahead of us, especially July, August. We're able to, get to the point where we are actually in sync with summer. Okay, Finn, are you ready?
Yes, I am. Is it smooth now?
It's some degree of. All right. So tell us, are you ready for summer? Over to you.
Am I ready for summer? Well, Nigeria is almost all summer, all the year through. So, in that sense, I'm always ready for summer. But this summer that we're talking about, the period of the holidays, when the sun is out in the more temperate regions, when it's a good time to be on the beach. It's a good time to it's a time for them to relax. It's a time to take holidays, spend with friends and family. That summer, I also think I'm always ready for that summer because I mean everybody looks forward to a holiday, or many people look forward to a holiday. So if preparing for that when schools are closing, when students are taking the time off to not be in the class, to not have to face academic work. Yes, we need to be intentional planning for that. We need to be more, not just wait for it to happen. We need to really put plans into place and say, for this holiday, what's going to happen? We may not be able to travel. Restrictions are being lifted. Many countries, But in some places, you still have to, you travel and then you still have to observe the isolation for a while, for some days before able to enjoy the holidays, to enjoy the where you are, the location where you are. But that being said, yeah, we really should be preparing and getting our summer bodies ready. You know, that doesn't concern the children, though. That would be maybe for the teachers, getting ready for their holiday away and taking time to exhale, taking time to also inhale fresh air, better air, and for the children, not for us to throw them into another learning system where we shove them again into what we call the summer school. I don't, that idea, if only for this year, we should throw that idea out of summer school. Let the children just learn. Let them, all of us have been through a period in the past year that has affected us, adults or child. It has really affected us. And this is a good opportunity for us to help those children detox, help them unwind, help them prepare for, because somehow I feel like this session that is running presently should be like a bridge session, kind of. We shouldn't be too tough on the children because they've been out of school for some time. It takes time to readjust to all of this. Suddenly you're in school and then you're pulled out of school and you can't see your friends, and then you're online, and then it's hybrid, and then you're back to it. Takes some adjusting to. And while some children can jump into it immediately and adjust to all that's needed for them to be at their optimum, some would struggle with it. So while they're getting settled into one system, another one comes up. And so the summer is a good time to get children, let them just talk to their mind, let them play, let them experience something new in anyhow we can afford it as parents, and let them just have a very beautiful experience. Summer is beautiful. It's, we see the sun, and yeah, it should really be a beautiful time for the children.
All right. So talking about summer being a beautiful time, beautiful period. Yeah, but then of course we know that we are speaking to much more than a season, right? Or a period. You said we all experience summer, but we are not all ready for summer. And I think we need to dwell more on the readiness for summer. Number one is how do we get educators, professionals out there, individuals, parents as well, to activate this consciousness, summer consciousness in themselves, as to be able to now say that this is how readiness itself is considered to be. So, Finn, do you want to say something about that?
Okay, so activating summer readiness is, we like to work. That's one thing, we really like to work. And you see the average Nigerian, we out of 24 hours, we're probably giving like 18 or more hours to work. And preparing for summer would, for me, starting from the mind, saying, yes, I'm going to give the required hours to work, but I'm also going to give the required hours to rest, to fun, doing other things, and not being feeling guilty about it. Some people sit down to take a rest, to watch a movie, to chat with a friend, and they feel guilty. They feel like they're doing something wrong. Preparing for summer begins from the mind. For educators, not feeling, oh, this is the time for me to go and get. So yes, you can get some personal development in. We can prepare for that, to say, I'm going to give this number of hours for personal development, but much more than that, I'm going to give so much to have fun, for rest, to recalibrate, to settle down, to to think. It's something that we don't do. We don't take time out to actually sit aside and think. People will say, what's wrong with you? Why are you thinking? But we really need to do these things. So preparing for summer, that mindset for parents, for educators, for school leaders, it's a mindset that we have to consciously step into and say, um, there's a period coming for rest. There's a period coming where I need to step away from this cycle, this ongoing cycle of it's consistent work and work and work and work around the clock, and really prepare our minds to take that break and enjoy the break, not just taking it, take that break, enjoy it in a guiltless way. That's what I would say.
All right, thank you for that. Titi, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Fee. Good morning, Rotimi. Good to see you in your office.
Good morning.
Fee,
Titi, are you ready for summer?
Good, yes. Yeah, I love also being at a desk.
Am I ready for summer? Honestly, I think we've been on it feels like we've been on so much holiday. You mean another holiday? I'm like, what? That's me talking from a parent perspective who's, my goodness, you mean that they are going to be home again? Talking talking from an employer's perspective, say, I don't want to hear stories. So honestly, it depends on where you stand. That's the thing about the summer holiday. It depends on where you stand. And I think this is one summer that I would not begrudge anybody for what they want to do. So if some people want to earn some more money, I won't begrudge you, man, because last summer we were all at home, wondering where the next drop of rain will come from. So I can just, that's why I say that for me this summer is a bit more understanding. For a lot of people, they want to use it to do catch up. It really just depends. But having said that, I think for me, as a parent, I always want the summer holiday to be something completely different from the academics. I always want them to learn something that they won't typically learn in school. Last year the summer holiday had to be virtual. This year I can't wait for it to be physical. Please let them get out of the house. But for me, it always has to be something learning that is different from school. So my son turns 13, or rather he's 13. This will be his first summer. He's going to get a summer job, that's for sure. He's going to get a summer job so that he can start experiencing what work is like. As an employer, I don't know where is the echo coming from my side. Let me see what internet I'm there seems to be an echo somewhere. Okay. Okay. So I think for as an employer, I mean, it's to say, what are we going to do this summer holiday? Um, you know, uh, in terms of things with schools, what do they have planned, or all the various organizations that do things for the summer holidays. So we'll be looking at more work, honestly, to say who are the people we can partner with during this summer holiday. Um, as an employer for schools, like I said, to me, to take a stance, determine, based on your need. So for some people, after doing this long, holidays that we had last year that were all at home doing online, a lot of people are looking to earn some extra money. Some people will not mind to do physical. So it's really for everybody to, take a stand. But I would say that in all of it, find time to rest, as a thing you were saying. In all of it, let's find time to rest. But I think it's okay to be honest with ourselves and say, if we need to earn extra, go ahead and earn the extra. Don't feel guilty about it. It's been a tough 1 year, and this year hasn't been flowing with milk and honey, to be honest. So that's what I would say.
So when Titi said it's not been flavored with milk and honey, hey, so you need to go for agricultural products. You go for livestock.
You know
God.
that for schools, when you look at the academic year, it starts from last year. Other people will look and say, "Oh, this is the 6th month," but for schools, they're actually in the end. They're a month
Yeah,
to the
a
end
session.
of the year. That's what I mean. When I say it's not been an easy year, and once first term tends to set the trend. Rarely do most schools get a lot of children in second and third. So for schools, what we can be saying is half year for some people. It's really 1 month. Most schools only have a month left before the end of the year, before the end of the school term. I mean, in the States, they've already started they've closed. But we still but most of us in Nigeria are still going to do to the middle of July.
July.
Some are even
Yeah,
extend to the end of July.
July.
So that's what I'm saying. Technically for schools, it's the end of the year. So it's not been an easy year. That's when I refer to that. I'm talking about because we started from September last year. It's not been an easy year for the. I mean, we're one of the people that were most hit. Education in itself, one of the space that was most hit with online learning that most schools could not do, and even the ones that did it, they know what they had to give up. And what they didn't achieve. So it's been a tough year. That's why I said that for some schools, they might look at it and say, let's make up. What do we do? And let's use the summer holiday to make up. Some parents will even insist on it. Some people feel that their children have not learned. My child is behind. When my son was in this class, this is what they did, but you have not done this. So it's going to be mixed. But what I'm saying is that whatever stance you need to take, it's okay to do that. But just plan rest. Don't let them kill you. Take it. Just plan some rest in between all of it.
Well, I think that we really are at that point and period where we need to research, think, and reflect, because for both the education sector, school businesses, education professionals, stakeholders, I think if we don't, we'll begin to experience a shrink in the market. And so summer also can also be a time not just to relax, but also a time for us to reflect. And interestingly, like Titi put it, is the end of the school year. We probably also might need to get to the table.
Fee, are you there? So I know it's not. It's to me. Can you hear him?
Yes, I'm here. I was wondering if I'm the one that was out.
Okay. So let's go to me.
Uh,
Oh,
It's fading
Rotimi,
in
we
and
can't
out.
hear you. Fee, what are your own summer plans?
Right now, I haven't made summer plans yet. I haven't made summer plans yet. I just feel like I need one long holiday, and for now, I can't take that long holiday. So this summer for me, I'm going to be on the side of uh, if you have to make money and not feel bad about it, yes, do that. That's the part. That's the side I'm going to be on this summer. Except, well, maybe something just happens along the line and that plan changes. But for now, uh, summer is just going to have to be another period on the weather and things changing in the weather. That's what it's going to have to be for now.
Yeah, I mean, and as you said it, I'm saying to educators out there, for some educators, it has been a stressful period, especially those that had to continue doing, that did intensive online. They now did blended, online and offline. Even when school resumed, they have been stressed. Those people, it's okay to take time off. I know some people that their schools were doing the online. It was stressful. Then when they came, some people said they didn't want to resume, so they were doing, some people physical in the class, then really stressful. Those of you that in those, it's okay. Just clear your calendar and go and lie down and sleep. It's fine. You've earned. I can honestly say you've earned your rest. And I'm hoping that your school recognize that you've earned the rest. Just go and not feel guilty. Just put up your legs, go and rest. Don't even worry about your children for the first month. Just go and rest. It's 1 week. I'm telling
They've
you.
earned the
Until
rest
this
and the
computer.
bonus.
You said what?
They've earned the rest and the bonus that comes with that rest. Really, I think this summer is a good time for schools to reward their teachers and the non-teaching staff that also help to put things in place to ensure that school kept running, whether online or physically. It's a good time to reward them.
Yeah, Titi, I think Titi was trying to tell me something. Titi, what were you saying?
I said, welcome back. You went off.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you so much. The network was a bit funny. All right. So, but then, what's your plan for summer? I'm going to start with Fee. I'm going back to Titi.
That's what we just talked about before you came in.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. So, talking about still on that, and I just want to take a little bit of our president's address on what Titi has also said in time past, which was when the president said something about not having enough funds to revive education. And as we prepare for summer, what interpretation and implication can you see this has coming out with or having?
That is what we call the handwriting on the wall. That's just it's like how when COVID happened, a lot of organizations saw the handwriting on the wall and were upfront to their employees. That's what it is. We've seen it. It has been there, but for a long time we have been putting our heads in the sand, trying to deny it. So I think it's really more. I haven't said that. What next? What level of freedom and autonomy are they going to grant those schools so that they can start to look for other sources of revenue? I know I can hear Rhoda's voice, saying, education is something that needs to be for all. Yes, it needs to be for all. But we always say that free education is not really free. Someone must always be paying. So if the government has come out to honestly say the truth, which is the fact that they can't afford to pay for all, we then need to say, what would they be bringing to the table, and where do we find the balance? That someone has to pay. And then we then say to ourselves, how do we get more private individuals and organizations to support education? So let me give an example. When Bill Gates started his campaign, where he went to meet all his fellow billionaire friends and says, what, let's decide on what percentage of our wealth we'll give out. and a lot of that they decided on various initiatives they would do. Honestly, it's the same thing that we need to do for education. We need to go out and say to the rich people in our countries and say, what part of this your wealth, beyond building large estates, what part of it will you give back to society, to education? Honestly, and then take your stand. I'm not going to impose it on you, but take your stance. Do you want to do primary? Do you want to do secondary? If just imagine that each. Let me just give an example. Say, imagine that each state had one billionaire. Yeah, do your state now, or do your state and the neighboring state, and say, okay, you know what? This is what I support. See what happened. We have Khan Academy. Khan Academy has been an NGO for so long, but when the COVID struck, they saw so many people move to Khan Academy. They could now no longer fund it. So even during the pandemic, Khan Academy now started actively asking you for donation when you try to use it. But you know what? Elon Musk now has offered to support. So I'm just saying that nothing is free. Anything that is being given for free, anything that is someone is paying for it. So if they decide and say, you know what, we don't want to build big schools with infrastructure. We want to do a free version of Coursera for primary school. So that it means that if I don't have money, I can just be spending the money to buy data for my children to go and do a free education. So what they then do is they do that free infrastructure. So they invest in it, sit down with seasoned educators, develop the content, and develop the infrastructure, put it there. And you know that through that thing, you are investing in the lives of millions. So I, as a poor parent, know that all I just need to do is spend small money, get a smartphone for maybe like 30K, and then just be buying data. So my children come, and they'll be doing small. It's better, So I'm just saying they need to do something, or they for university. So what that means is that now university idea now becomes a major thing, where you can gain a university education for free. So it means that I can be doing my day job, keeping my body and soul together. Then
Absolutely.
from 6 o'clock to o'clock, I'm then doing my night university schooling, go and sleep at 10, then start. So I think when I see that, it's really us to throw the door open and say, okay, philanthropists, really, if you're truly about giving back, all this your money. Honestly, I don't know what you want to do with it. How many houses can you live? How many cars can you drive? And then if you say you're giving your money to your children, is it for them to just go and be popping champagne in the nightclub, and living large, when you can change the destinies of a million people?
Or hopping in the Maserati.
Or hopping in my Maserati and taking pictures. I mean, I'm not saying the wealth you have is enough to do that and still affect the lives of a million children. That's the truth. The wealth you have is enough to do that and still affect the life of a million children. So that's what I would say. Don't be living legacy of where you want to now build physical university that has your imprint on your name. I think you should go use technology, because with physical university, how many can go and see all the universities we have in Nigeria. What is the total capacity? They don't reach 2 million. All the universities we have in Nigeria, total capacity, it's not up to 2 million. But do you know, with an online, you can reach 40 million. You can reach 40 million. Then we then can harass the telecoms to say, you know what? Once it comes to anything educational, you have to drop the So
The
those are the things
numbers
that
will even make it attractive. The numbers will make it more
those
attractive.
are the things that government can do. So they don't go and tell the telecoms, you know what? You hear you making. I mean, how much did MTN declare revenue from Nigeria? $1 trillion. And not profit. Oh, I said revenue. They did trillions. Kilo day. So what we're just telling them is that, you know what, these are the selected educational sites. You make them at a piece. I'm not saying make them free, okay? If you can't make them 0 rated, that's fine. But let's say for data, it is 100 naira. Make it 40 naira, so that people, and then you know what? That's what it is. So those are the things that I don't want government to just raise their hand and say, okay, we can't do. No, these are some of the things you can do. Go and sit down with all these billionaires. You people are rich, to give you some tax incentive, but this is what I want you to do. Telecoms, this is what I want you to do, to support the education. So don't just raise up your hand and say we don't have money. Yes, we don't have money for physical schools anymore, and maybe these physical schools too you can see how to privatize it, but the only condition you do, and I see nothing wrong in privatizing public schools. The only condition you do is like how you go to a lot of all these covenants. You then insist that 30% of it must be scholarship to the people in the community. Do you get? So let people come and buy the schools, but you insist that 30% must be free scholarship and must be to the indigents in that school. So what that means is that the school knows that they have to make money from the remaining 70%, but 30% of the people that come to the school are from the indigents of that state, and it's free education. But it's not free man, no man, no. It's free education, based on merit. Those are, for me, are some of the things that I think that the government can do, as they try to open it up to allow more money to come into the education space. Don't just tell me you don't have money. Those are my little two.
But then also, just like you said, we also want sincerity and transparency to the degree that it's not, sometimes we hear politicians make statements to justify or absolve themselves from certain accusation or blame. But like you said, we don't want an announcement. We want a solution or some degree of solutions, where we're able to say that, yes, we are not able to revive, not as we can't do it, it can be possible. Because while I was in Abuja for ASNI, the special advisor to the minister, we sat down, we had a conversation together, and it was talking about the remarkable things that the administration is doing in education. So listening to that, it almost looked like the conversation just went south. So I think that because the government should also prepare for summer, should get ready for summer. And this type of summer for the government is to roll up their sleeves and get to really, talk about, the possibility of, showing this is the map and the way forward, in building a vibrant system of education. I think that will go in a very big way. It will go a long way in developing society. So as we draw the curtains on today's show, I'd like to ask me to share thoughts and our parting shots, and then we'll come back to Titi to give our closing remarks as well.
I'm going to start from where you stopped and say that as we prepare for summer, we have different categories of people preparing for summer. We have parents, we have the students, we have the school, that's including school leaders, teachers, non-teaching staff, and then we have the government also. And for the parents, well, I would say that just ensure that your kids have a beautiful experience. It's not about how much you spend or how little you spend. It's about the experience for them. Let them have that experience that, this summer, I think every opportunity we have to create memories with our children, we should make it count. So let the summer count for them. And for the kids, well, they're not listening right now. I would just want them to have fun. I want them to have fun, and that they also incorporate learning into the fun. We talked about play and learning. This is a good opportunity to pick up things and pay more attention to the environment, study things, learn more while they are in a relaxed environment. For the schools, well, it's dual way. You're taking your rests and you're also preparing for the next academic session. So it's a time to take stock, take inventory, what needs to be changed, what needs to be done differently, all of that. But also there's the need for everyone involved in this education cycle in the school system to take a rest so that they can come back energized, better, invigorated to take on the new session. And for the government, it is not a holiday for the government at all. It's the time for them to really look into how will making the next session a much more productive, a much more seamless, a much more easier session for students as they return to school. And that's where I am dropping my mic this morning.
All right, thank you. And then back to Titi.
Yeah, I think for me it's prepare. I like the word get ready for the summer. I think it's to prepare. At this time, everybody should be thinking about it. So if you haven't given it some thought, begin to think what you want to do. It's okay to, decide to take it easy. It's okay to decide to, hustle some more. I think for all school owners, I would say you need to do hustling because you need to secure the next new year, which starts in September. So for all school owners, by now you should be out with all your marketing as you try to market teas, toast, parents, whatever you need to do as prepare for the new academic year. This is because you're entering the toasting season, July, August is the season you should be toasting the parents. Some that might be threatening to leave, and even the ones that are very happy is how to toast them to let friends and family know. So you're entering your toasting season. Please prepare for it, and we really pray, the coming year will even be a better one for you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. And that's a wrap for today's show. That's all we can take. It's already 9:02. And we will be back tomorrow for another interesting conversation on the Good Morning Education Show. Do not miss it. Tell someone to tell someone that it's the Good Morning Education Show. And of course, we'll end the show with our usual payoff line. And at the count of 2, we'll all say it together. 1, 2.
It's always a great morning on the Good Morning Education Show.
Have a great day, everyone. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Okay, then bye.